Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so tonight we are going to discuss, or I would like to briefly explain about how APT online examination is going to be. So uh, I'll be dividing this session into a few parts. So let us begin with what are we going to have tonight. The first part will be about APT final examination itself, which we will be discussing on all three papers or all two examinations that we are going to face starting next week. And then the second part will be the technical issues or the problems or anything that related with technical, which we are going to see a few problems and solutions to the problems with regards with the platforms or that we are going to use for final examination, or as well as a few other problems and solutions. And then the last part will be the Q&A session, question and answer session, in which you can ask anything that is related with this APT final examination. So if you have anything throughout the session, you can send the message or send the questions or ask them directly via live YouTube live chat box. Okay, let's start with the first one, which is APT Final Online Examination. So this time around for this semester, we are going to have both speaking and writing final examinations online. So how is it go? So first one is when will those examinations be? So let us start with the first one, which is the final speaking test. Final speaking test will be on the 2nd of March 2021, which is this coming Tuesday. With regards the time or the time of the examination, it differs from sections to sections, in which you may refer to your lecturer uh, with regards with this the time of the examination for speaking test. Moving on to the next one, uh, writing examination or writing final online examination. It will be divided into two papers, which both papers will be conducted on the same day. So it will start with final paper one first, which is uh, will be conducted on 5th of March 2021, next coming Friday. It will start at 8:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. So you have to answer this question paper 1 in 2 hours time. And then you will be having around 30 minutes of rest or 30 minutes of gap in between final paper 1 and final paper 2. So final paper 2 will be on the same day, 5th of March 2021, which is will be on Friday, and it will start at 11 a.m. and it will end at 1 p.m. So it will be around 2 hours for you to answer this question in paper 2. So next, moving on to the next part. This is sort of important notes for every one of you. Kindly ensure that you are well informed about the date, day, and time of your examinations, as well as the platform that will be used. Since we are going to have all the examinations online, and we are going to have quite a separate examinations, so you have to ensure that you are well informed about the date for speaking test, the date and date time for your final examination paper 1, as well as your final examination paper 2. Besides that, you also have to ensure that you have been informed by your lecturers what platform will be used for each and every examination, so that you will be well ready for all examinations that will be conducted online. Okay, we start with the final speaking test first, because we are going to have these final speaking test this coming Tuesday on second of March. So for final speaking test, there will be two questions for final speaking test, in which the first questions will be an individual question. I'll explain about it later. And this speaking test will be held in a group of 3 to 4 students. It depends on the number of students in the class. So, with regards with the group, the lecturer itself will provide you, or will group you into a few groups. So you may refer to your own lecturer for your section to get the groupings for final speaking test. And the most important thing is that final speaking test will be using Google Meet. So few things you have to ensure before final speaking test. The first one is, when will be your group session, and then what the link for Google Meet itself, so that you won't be late for the final speaking test. Moving on to the next part, which is the SOP for final speaking test. Since, as I mentioned earlier, that there will be two questions for this final speaking test. So the first question, it will be tested individually, which its mark is 5 marks. The topic will be chosen by using wheel of names. You can see the picture on the left side of the slide. That is the wheel of names. There will be few topics there. So the questions will be chosen by using this application, wheel of names, in which your examiner will share with you the screen. Then he or she will choose the topic by using wheel of names. And then once you get your topic, you will be given 1 minute to prepare. So, and after you finished 1 minute preparation time, you will be given 2 minutes to answer, in which is you have this is the real duration of the final speaking test itself. And then the next one is, you must bear in mind that the topic will differ from one to another members of the same group, which means if there are 6 questions on Wheel of Names, the first, for example, in this Wheel of Names, we can see that there are مهنتك المفضلة وسائل النقل ولمة العرس العطلة الأسبوعية وقت فراغك هوايتك. For example, the student number one, he gets وسائل النقل, for example. So once he get this topic, we'll remove this topic from this wheel of names, which means you'll never get this topic again. Next, so student number two will not get وسائل النقل again, because we have removed this topic from wheel of names. So that is why the topic differs from one and to another of the same group in this question number one. So basically, this will be a very short examination, because you only have 1 minute to prepare and 2 minutes to answer. It will take you at around 3 to 4 minutes to uh, s- complete this question number one. Though the question will be tested individually, but you will be in the Google Meet in with your group members, which means you will listen to your group members answering the questions. Okay, moving on to the next part, which is question number two. Question number two is also 5 marks, but this question number two will be tested in group. The topic will also be chosen by using wheel of names. The topic will be different from the topic in question number one. Question number two topics will be something like a few topics that is related with discussion or argumentative kind of topic. So each student, the topic is the same for all members of the same group, which means there will be the topic will only be chosen once in for question number two. Whatever the topic you get, that will be the topic that you will be discussing on for question number two. So because we have the same topic for all members of the same group, so each student is only allowed to explain one point in which he or she has to explain the point that he is answering, and then he or she has to uh, give examples that is related with the points that he is going to explain about. Those are the things that related with question number one and question number two for final speaking test. So moving on to the important part of final speaking test, you have to remember that you are required to switch your camera on throughout final speaking examination. Even if it is not your turn, but you have to switch on your camera. For example, we have four members in a group. So although we have four members in a group, um, student number one answers the question, you still have to switch on the camera. It's okay if your camera or your laptop camera or your phone camera is not that clear, since we can see your face and you are there, so it's fine. So I think that is all about speaking final examination test. So moving on to the next part, which is the next examination that will be held on 5th of March. So here is the APT final examination timeline, in which it will start at 8:30 a.m. We will start with paper one first. Paper one, you have to bear in mind that paper one you have two platforms. We have Google Form and also we have Google Docs. For the questions in Google Form, there will be two sections, or there you will be tested on grammar as and vocabulary. And then for Google Docs, 45 marks, we have grammar, we have reading and comprehension, as well as a few things with regards for vocabulary or something like that. So you have to bear in mind that you have to answer both Google Form and Google Docs within the allocated time, which is 2 hours. So you have to ensure that you answer both Google Form and Google Docs within the allocated time. So once you have finished, your paper one will end at 10:30 a.m. So you have 2 hours for paper one. So you have a gap at about 30 minutes from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. So you can do any preparation for paper two. So your paper two will start at 11 a.m., in which you have only one platform to answer the paper two. I'm sorry. So there will be questions on essay writing. So here you have to answer on Google Docs. So once paper one and paper two both 2 hours. So the paper two will end at approximately 1 p.m. So here is the timeline for your APT final examination. Okay, moving on to the next part, which I'll explain a step-by-step procedures or steps to answer the questions. We'll start with the paper one, which paper one Google Forms first. These Google Form have 10 marks here, in which you can find the question papers on your own Google Classroom. For previous IGA, we have two Google Classroom, in which we have Google Classroom of your own section, as well as Google Classroom in which you share with a few other sections. But for this time around, for final examination, we will only be using your own Google Classroom, that is created for only your section, that Google Classroom that you use with your lecturer. So you can find the question papers on your own Google Classroom for your own section. Okay, once you have found the question papers on your own Google Classroom, since you can open the attached Google form on your classroom. Then once you have opened the attached Google form on your classroom, there will be a few information that you have to fill in, uh, which is related with your name, your section number, your level, LQM code. So kindly ensure that all the informations needed in Google Form is are filled correctly to avoid any problems, especially your metric number, your metric number, as well as your name. And then next one, once you have finished filling in all the information, there will be a page in which you have to declare that you will not be cheating throughout the examination. There you have to uh, fill in the form as well. So moving on to the next step, which you'll be answering around 20 questions, which are divided into two pages. 10 questions for grammar, 10 questions for vocabularies. So all the questions are compulsory for you to answer. So if not, you cannot submit the form, which the lecturer will not receive your answer for these Google Forms. So once you have finished answering the question in Google Forms, you just have to click the submit button at the end of the question paper. And then since for paper one we are going to have two papers, I mean like two platforms for paper one. So don't forget that once you have finished answer either Google Forms or Google Docs for paper one, you have to answer another part of paper one, that you can find on the question papers on your own Google Classroom posted uh, along with the paper one Google form. So moving on to the next part, paper one Google Docs 45 marks. The first and the first step is just for the first step for Google Docs paper one, you can find the question paper on your own Google Classroom. And then you can see that there is an attached Google Documents or Google Docs on your classroom. And you have to click on that attached Google Docs, and then you have to fill in the information in the first page of Google Docs uh, correctly. Okay, there are a few problems that I will be discussing on later on after this part of this session, in which there are a few problems with regards uh, the answer in your Google Docs were missing right after you submit, and as well as you have problems with regards Arabic font there, and a few other problems that I'll touch later on. So moving on to the next part, once you have filled in information, you have to also fill in information on declaration form attached there, and then you can answer all the question in the space provided. we will be providing you spaces for each and every questions in which you don't have to add or edit any part of the question papers. You just have to answer, or you just have to type your answer on the space provided. And then the last one, this is the most important part of this paper one Google Docs. Once you have finished answering all the questions, yes, Google Docs will automatically save your answer, but then you have to you must click the turn in button that you will find it at the top of at the top part of on the left and on the right hand side of the Google Docs itself. So you have to click on the turn in button, and then after that, you will see that you have submitted the Google Docs question paper there. This is just to indicate that you have submitted the question paper. If you fail to do so, it means that you are not returning you your examination paper. Okay, moving on to the next part, which is the paper two. Paper two, you will only answer the you will only answer question for paper two in Google Docs. So it will be just the same with Google Docs paper one. But then on this paper two, there is an exception here in which you can either answer all questions in this by writing it, or I mean, like, your answer can be handwritten or typewritten. Since we have been receiving a lot of what we call feedbacks that it is difficult for you to type because you are not familiar with the Arabic keyboard. It is quite something like a very time consuming things. So you can either submit your answer handwritten or typewritten. But this thing is just only for paper 2. For Google Docs paper 1, you can only submit your answer uh, by typing the answer on this on the space provided. But for paper 2, you can either write it on your own. You can either submit the answer handwritten or typewritten. But for the details on how you can submit your answer handwritten, there will be a few things after this. There will be an explanations after this. So since we are going to answer all the question, I think the slide bergerak aja, because there is just a slight change on step 5 in comparing if we compare with the slide the previous slide for paper 1 Google Docs, because we are going to use the same Google Docs. I mean, like, we are going to use the same platform, which is Google Docs. So the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 will be the same things with paper 1 Google Docs. There is only a slight difference on step 5, at which you can submit the answer handwritten or typewritten. So once you have submit the answer, you have to don't forget that you must turn in your answer. That you can find the turn in button on the top part of your right hand side of the Google Docs. Okay, moving on to the last part of this first part of this session, which is we have the summary of APT final examination. There will be two separate examination. We will be having speaking test. That there will be two questions for each student that will be held in a group of 3 to 4 students in a group via Google Meet. So for this speaking test, you can refer to your lecturer for more details with regards with the grouping, with regard with the time of the speaking test, and as well as with regards with the link for Google Meet. And then the next one is the APT final examination. we'll be having two papers in which we'll be seated these two papers separately. Which the paper one will start at 8:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. For paper one, we have two platforms, Google Form as well as Google Docs. And for paper two, it will start at 11 a.m. and it will end at 1 p.m. So both papers, the time allocated for both papers are only 2 hours each. So where can you find the question papers? Question papers will be posted on your own Google Classroom. So we will only use our own Google Classroom for our own section this final examination. So before we move on to the next part of this session, is there any question? There is a question that can I use two gadgets, laptop and phone, when sitting for the paper one and paper two, since I have no idea on how to set up the Arabic keyboard on my laptop. Oh, Farzad Hadif, I'll show you on how to set up the Arabic keyboard on your laptop after this, during the second part of this session. Yes, Shafika, what is the question? For the second question, can I volunteer to answer first? Oh, for speaking test, for question number two, you can volunteer to answer the question first. Uh, Neural Shifa, do we have waiting room for speaking test? Shifa, since we are going to use Google Meet, there will be no waiting room for speaking test. If you use Zoom or any other things, we can have waiting room. But since we are going to use Google Meet, so we don't have waiting room for speaking test. That is why I told you to ask or to refer your lectures on your with regards with your time for speaking test, because we have allocated a specific time for each and every group for speaking test. Nur Najia, kalau handwritten means kena attach new file lah kat Google Classroom. Okay, Najia, I'll explain about the handwritten answer later on, which there are a few things that you have to follow with regards with handwritten answer. Okay, let us start with the second part of the session, which is the technical issues. Here are a few problems a few problems and solutions for technical issues that some of you have faced during our previous IGA examination. So we'll start this second part with the first one. Since I since the feedback that we get from the students for previous IGA examinations, so I think that this part seems to be very important for all of us. The first and foremost, first thing, I would suggest all students to answer all papers using your laptop or PC, because it will be a lot more easier for you to answer by using laptop or your PC. However, if you find it difficult to use either laptop or PC, you are allowed to use your mobile phones. It is not compulsory for you to use laptop or PC, but then I would encourage you to use either laptop or PC compared to using mobile phones to answer the questions. There are a few reasons why I encourage you to answer all papers by using laptop or PC, because there are a few things or a few problems those who have answered previous IGA with mobile phones, which their answer, especially on Google Docs, went missing after they submit the question paper. So we'll start with the first one. Here are a few problems faced during IGA. Most of you have no problem with the tech. I mean, like most of you have no problem with regards to technical issues or anything that with the platform or anything else. But there are quite a number of you having problem with Arabic keyboard. Some of you say that you are not familiar, most of you are not familiar with Arabic keyboard. And some of you say that you are not, or you don't know how to install or add this Arabic keyboard, either in laptop or in your mobile phones. So I'll show you how to install these things in your laptop or your mobile phones. And a few of you have problems with the platform in which you think that there are a problem with Google Docs. I don't know what is the problem specifically, but then you say there are some of you say that you have problem with the platform as well as the connection and as well as with your laptop performance. With regards to the internet connection and your laptop performance, we can't really help you because the connection or internet connection depends on your where you are, and your laptop performance is depending on your laptop, how long have you been using the laptop or anything else. So what we can help here, these four problems here. Problem number one, it relates with some your the platform that we will be using for all papers, especially the problems when using this platform via mobile phones. And then problem number two, with regards to typing problem, which you some of you face difficulties in typing Arabic. And problem number three, we will be touching on submission of handwritten answer, which I'll explain steps to submit handwritten answers. And then the last problem is it relates with submission problem, in which you have difficulties in turn in or anything else, something like that. So we start with the first one first. So if you are, I know that there will be less problem if you answer the question by using laptop. Because why? Because when you have opened the classroom, Google Classroom, and you find the attached Google Form or attached Google Docs there, once you click there, it will direct you to the Google Doc site or Google Form site. It will direct you to those two sites once you click the link or the attached Google Classroom or attached Google Docs. But the problem happens when you answer the question by using mobile phones. I think there is no problems if you that relates with Google Form. But there are a few problems when you answer the examination questions on Google Docs by use on your mobile phone. Because why? Because when you open the attached Google Docs on Google Classroom, it will not direct you to the Google Docs apps. It will only open the Google Docs there, but then it will not direct you to Google Docs application. The problem is when you answer the questions on what we call that, the attached Google Docs that you open on Google Classroom, there will be problems after you submit the Google Docs at the end of the examination. Here is why there are a few of you their answers went missing when they submitted the examination answers at the end of the examination period. So when we ask why, and when we ask how they answer the questions, this most of them said that they answer the question directly once they click on the Google Docs on Google Classroom. So here is the problem. So for mobile phones users, I mean like for those who think that you are going to answer this question on Google Docs by using mobile phones, here are the starter pack for you. So first one, you have to install, or it is better for you to install Google Classroom application on your mobile phones. Why? Because first, I don't think that you are really, or you will check your email regularly. So once you install Google Classroom, there will be a notification that will notify you once a post is posted, or your assignment is posted on your Google Classroom. So here it will help you to if and only if you forgot that there will be an examination on that day, so this will notify you or will remind you that you have exam on that day at that time. So second things is you have to install Google Docs. If Google Classroom, I say that it is better for you to install, but then for Google Docs, it is a must for you to install these Google Docs applications on your mobile phones. Because why? Because once you have opened the attached Google Docs on Google Classroom, there is a what we call that step. There is another step for you to open this question paper on Google Docs itself, where you can edit the answer. You can edit every single things on Google Docs. Which after that, you will not be facing any problems with regards missing answers and everything. So you must install Google Docs if you are going to use your mobile phone to answer the question. And next one is the third one is keyboard. Your you have or you must install or add Arabic keyboard on your phone. I don't know how to explain this thing on how to install the Arabic keyboard or whatever. But then I think you can find it on your keyboard setting. For those who are using iPhone or Apple, there is a icon something like uh, gear or something like that. So you just have to click on that things and you just have to add the Arabic keyboard. If you have a lot of options on Arabic keyboard, I don't think that we have a lot of options for Arabic keyboard in phone. There will be only one choice there, so you just have to choose Arabic keyboard. But then if you are using your laptop, there will be a few options or a few choices for Arabic keyboard, where it differs from country to another. So you have to choose Arabic keyboard Saudi Arabia. You have to choose Arabic keyboard Saudi Arabia. Please bear in mind that you have to choose this Arabic keyboard from Saudi Arabia. So that is the third thing that you must have if you are going to use mobile phone to answer the questions. And the next one is you have to have a very stable data connection if you are going to answer the question on mobile phones. Because why? I don't think that Google Docs will regularly save the changes happen on Google Docs on phone. While if you are using Google Docs on your laptop, or I mean on sites or website, it will save any changes regularly. So to avoid missing any previous answers, and if you are using your mobile phones, you have to ensure that you have stable data connection there. So moving on to the next part, As I told you earlier, that there are a few problems if you answer questions in Google Docs by using your phone. So here is how to avoid that problems to happen. So first step number one, you can see here the first picture here is the assignment or the post that you can find in your Google Classroom. Here are the examination papers. So we have the Google Form and Google Docs for paper 1 and Google Docs for paper 2. It will be posted separately for paper 1 and paper 2, I think, because we are going to sit for it separately. So once you find these question papers, you have to click on the question papers and it will appear like this picture number 2, which you can find the attachments there, Google Docs attachment there. So you can click the attachments there, and it will you can see the question papers just the same as picture number 3. So here the problem begins. Most of you will directly answer the question paper here, which means you just stop here. You will fill everything, you will answer everything here once you have clicked the attachments. But then it happens to be that all the answers will be, like the answer will go missing once you have submitted the answer, because the answer that you put or type here will not be saved. So how to avoid these problems? You can find that there is an icon up there, the most right part of the top part of the phone, something like an arrow there. You can click that icon. So there will be a prompt message in which you have to choose either to open the question paper with Google Drive or Google Docs. So you have to choose to open this question paper by using Google Docs. So once you have clicked Google Docs or once you have chosen Google Docs there, it will direct you to Google Docs application. That is why I told you that I've mentioned earlier that you must install Google Docs application if you are going to answer these question papers by using mobile phones. So once you have been directed to the Google form, it will appear like picture number 4. It might be different from a phone to to another. Yeah, this is from my phone because I'm using dark what we call that, dark mode. So the background will be in black. I think by default it will be white, just like the picture number 3 there. So how you are going to answer or you are going to edit Google Docs? Like how can you edit every single things, or how do you key in the answers there in Google Docs? You can either double click on the Google Docs. Double click on the space provided for you to key in every single answer or your informations, or you can click the pencil icon, or you can click the pencil button that you can find at the bottom part of the Google Docs, at the bottom part of your phone. So here are the steps for you to answer Google Docs question papers by using mobile phone. So once you have finished answering the questions, step number 3 is you have to go back. You have to turn in the Google Docs on Google Classroom. So you will see something like uh, turn in button there on top of the Google Classroom, and then you have to click that, and then there will be a prompt message. Either you are going to turn in it or not. So you have to click again, turn in button, and then there will be a box which there will be a file that you have submitted there. Okay, let us continue with second problem, which is typing problems, Arabic. Since we are going to answer question on GDocs paper one with we only accept typewritten for paper one, so there are two things that you have to know. The first one is you have to install or add Arabic language to your laptop or your phone. I've mentioned earlier the steps on how you can install or add Arabic language or Arabic keyboard on your phone. Now, how to install your Arabic language on your laptop? You can click on the search on your taskbar on your laptop, and then you can just simply type language there. So there will be an option which there is an option of for you to edit language and keyboard options. You can just click that thing. Once you click that, there will be a section which you can find preferred languages there. So you have to click add language, and then you have to look for Arabic. There will be many choices there. For example, Arabic for Algeria, Arabic Bahrain, Arabic Egypt, Arabic Iraq, Arabic Jordan, and the list goes on. The one that you have to you must choose is Arabic Saudi Arabia. So once you click Saudi Arabia Arabic, you can click next, and you can see a prompt message there in which you have to download a few things there. So you can just follow the steps and until the until it finished you finish installing the keyboard there. So there will be two languages for your keyboard in which you will be having English as well as Arabic. So how can you easily change the language for keyboard? You can simply find the language just just next to the clock on the taskbar. Okay, once you have installed Arabic keyboard, there will be no problem in typing Arabic. But the problem is it will be a very time consuming process. So how to help you to reduce this problem? You can use on-screen keyboard. For on-screen keyboard, you can search that by just typing on-screen keyboard. So it will appear on your screen. So from there, you can see where is this alphabet and where is Alif, Ba, and every single alphabet there. So it will help you a lot in typing Arabic. But then for question paper, paper one, since we will be giving you a Google Docs document. So I think that if you find it difficult for you to if you find it difficult for you to type in Arabic, you can copy and paste the text on the document itself. For example, if you are going to answer reading comprehension, there will be a passage up there which you can copy the text there and paste it on the spaces provided for you to answer the questions. So it will somehow help you to not consume much time in typing Arabic, since we are not allowing you to submit the answer for paper one Google Docs handwritten. Okay, moving on to the next part, which is handwritten answer. This is specifically for paper two. Since you are going to answer two essays for paper two, so that will be quite difficult for you to answer it by typing the answers in Arabic. It will somehow uh, distract your focus. So since we are allowing you to send this handwritten, two things you have to prepare. The first one is the answer sheets, which the answer sheets must be a foolscap paper there, in which you have to write down all your names, metric number, section, and lecturer's name on the answer sheets. And then once you have finished answering all the question, once you have finished writing all the answers, you have to snap all your answers by using Cam Scanner. So next one is you have to install Cam Scanner. So why we will be using Cam Scanner? Because you have to submit all the answer sheets in just one file, in which the file must be in PDF. And then the second reason is once you snap your answer by using Cam Scanner, you can crop and it will somehow make your photos look much clearer than your original photo. So that is why you have to install Cam Scanner. You have to snap all your answers and you have to send them in PDF file. We are not accepting any answers in photo, JPEG, PNG, or whatsoever photo type of files. Uh, what do you mean by using Microsoft Office? Because are you going to write it or are you going to type it? I mean, there is a question there. Or you mean that Adina? I think you are going to say that we can snap the photo and then we can copy and paste the photo on Microsoft Office and then we can export. I mean, like we can save the Microsoft in PDF files. Am I right? Yes, you can snap photos and paste it on what we call that Microsoft Office. But the problem is the photo won't be that clear. So that is why we ask you to install Cam Scanner so that you can snap the photo. In which once you have snapped the photo, there will be an option where this photo will look a little bit more clear. And that is why we ask you to install Cam Scanner. We want a very clear photo because it's going to be very difficult for the examiner if the photo are not clear enough for us to read the answer. I know that we can turn these photos into PDF format by using Microsoft Office, but if the photo itself is not really what we call that clear enough, so it will be difficult for us. Okay, uh, I think I've already explained on how you are going to submit the answer handwritten. So moving on to the next part, which is the step by step in answering. There is another question. So are there two options for answering essay writes, type and handwritten? Yes, Isa. You can either submit the answer type written or handwritten, but it is only for question paper two. But for paper one, you can only submit the answer, or I mean, like you can only type the answer. You cannot write it on your. I mean, like you cannot submit handwritten for paper one. Okay, to sum up, here are the steps to answer the questions, especially on Google Docs, especially those who are using mobile phones to answer. So step number one, open your question papers on Google Classroom, in which you can find the attached Google Docs and Google Docs there. Step number two, you have to answer all questions. Answer all questions here, it means that if you have two platforms, so which Google Form and Google Docs, you have to answer both Google Form and Google Docs. Please don't forget any of them. Step number three, if you are answering questions on Google Docs and you are using your mobile phone, please use your Google Docs applications to answer the questions to avoid your answer went missing once you have submitted the question papers. Because why? Once you are going to submit this paper at the end of the examination period, so you won't be having quite much time for you to re-answer all the questions. So that is why we ask you to use Google Docs applications for to answer the questions on these Google Docs. So once you have finished answering all your questions on Google Docs applications, there will be a on Google Docs itself there will be spaces provided for you to answer. You don't have to add any shapes or any tables there. You just have to write your answers on the space provided. So once you have finished answer all the questions and you are you think that you have answered all the things and you don't want to answer the questions anymore, you can go to the next step, which is the last step, step number five, in which you have to turn in your answer. So how to turn in? You can find the turn in button on the top part of the Google Docs, Google Classroom. I'm sorry, Google Docs. I'm sorry, and then you have to click on that turn in button. It will direct you to the Google Classroom once again, in which there will be a prompt message there, which it will ask you either to turn in or to edit it again. So you just have to click on the turn in button, and then you just have to you will see there is a box there on the right side of the Google Classroom, in which there will be a file attached there. That is your answer. So you have finished once you see that file in the box, so you have finished answering the questions for Google Docs. Please ensure that you answer the questions on Google Docs until the end of this step, which is you have to ensure that you have turned in this Google Doc. So how to turn in Google Form? Which MCQ questions adakah ia disubmit bersama-sama jawapan yang bukan MCQ for paper 1? Okay, since Google Form is also under paper 1 question, under paper 1, so both Google Forms and Google Docs will be posted in the same post. So it means that once you have finished answering Google Forms, when you have clicked submit button on Google Forms, so you don't have to turn in Google Form anymore because we have received your answers once you have clicked submit button there. Only for Google Docs, you have to click turn in button so that we know that you have finished answering the questions. So here is the most important part of answering questions in Google Docs, because turn in is a must. You have to bear in mind that turn in is a must. Yes, we can see your answer, even if you didn't turn in your what we call that, your Google Docs. But then it is something like, if we are sitting this examination physically, it is something like, oh, you answer all the questions, but then you didn't turn in your answer to the invigilator. You just left your answer on the table, and then the invigilator didn't collect your answer. It is something like that if you are not turning in your Google Docs. So turn in is a must. So you must turn in your answer for Google Docs in Google Classroom. And one more thing, please remember that you have to turn in these question papers within the allocated time. So for paper one, there are you'll be sitting this paper one for 2 hours. So you have to turn in these Google Docs and Google Form within the given period. Okay. Let us move on to the next part, which is the third part, which is the last part of the session, Q&A session. So it is time for you to voice out whatever I forgot to touch on, or whatever problems that you think that you or that you faced during previous IGA. You can ask now. So how you can either post the question directly on YouTube live chat, or you can scan QR code and you can post the question on Mentimeter there. I'll read the question and I'll try to answer the question if you have questions. So is there any question? In the middle of speaking, if we lost connection, then we have to repeat again. Oh, in the middle of speaking, if you have a technical problem with regards to your connection, it depends on the examiner, I think. I think you can either repeat it, or if you have finished or you are almost finished, I don't think that you have to repeat it again. Harish, so have you eaten? Uh, I don't think that this question. I don't think that I must answer this question. Okay, next one is after reason. Can you briefly explain the technical method for answering paper one and paper two? Afiq, Ridwan, what do you mean by technical method? Can you make it more specific? If you, I don't know what is the technical method that you mean. Next question, for example, untuk question move further ataupun question lain kan, garisan dah provided tapi bila kita tulis dia larikan se. Kita boleh padam garisan tu ke? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. For question like uh Mufradat, question for paper one, Google Docs, there are line there in which you have to answer on the line. But then if we type the answer there, the line will move since we are not answering on the line itself. So you can delete the line, but then I would suggest you to make your answer underline. So how? It is just the same way when we underline the word by using Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word. Afiq, apa ni? Technical matters. Uh, there are many technical matters, Afiq. I don't know which one. You are going to ask me about. If you are going to ask me about technical matters with regard your data connection or platforms, I think I've explained everything about platforms and that all those things. But if you have problems with regards the questions that itself, then you have to be more specific so that I can explain it more. I can explain it much clearer. Okay. Okay, tiba-tiba okay, thank you je. Okay. Is there any other questions? Okay, we have questions here. What if you are not able to attend speaking test? For example, hospitalized. Okay, if you are not able to attend speaking test, or you are not able to attend any of those tests, first thing first, you have to inform your lecturers so that they are aware that you are hospitalized. But then you have to submit the MC or the medical certificate to your lecturers. For speaking test, there will be a makeup test for you if you are hospitalized. But then, if you are not able to attend just because you are going to your hometown or something like that, we are not going to make another exam test for you. But then, if you are hospitalized, then it's okay. Syafiqah, kita padam garisan tu, tulis jawapan dan gariskan balik ya, sir. Yes, Syafiqah, that's better. Because why? If kalau kita just sekadar we just type the answer without underlining it, it will somehow make it difficult for you for the examiner to either to recognize either which one is the answer. So maksudnya kena tekan dua kali ke turn in tu, satu dekat GC, satu dekat Google Docs ke macam mana, sir? Okay, yes. You have to somehow click on the turn in button twice. First one on Google Docs, in which you can find it on the top part of the Google Docs on the right hand side. And the second one, once you have clicked on the turn in button on Google Docs, it will direct you to Google Classroom, in which there will be a another prompt message there, which you have to click on turn in button again. Okay, next question. So Microsoft Office PDF scanning quality is the same as Cam Scanner. So is it okay to use it? For example, both apps brighten, highlights our writing, or both also align our paper for easy reading. If you find it easier and you find it you have a clear picture of or photos of your written answer, I think it's okay. But then if you have problems with your photos. For example, you find it difficult for you to read your answer through by seeing at the photo. It's better for you to use Scam Scanner. If I have any problems during examination, example, line problem, who should I inform to? Or if you have any problems with regards to the examination, connection date, connection problem, or whatever problem you have, you must inform your lecturer immediately. You have to inform your lecturers immediately. Don't ever inform your lecturers right after the allocated time finished. You have to immediately inform them. How many marks that should we get in order to get exempted? Oh, Fatina Jua Fika. This one, I think you better ask your lecturer because I don't know which LQM subject you are taking right now. Kalau dah siap awal, boleh submit awal kan, sir? Yes, of course. Boleh submit awal. Can we submit the handwritten answers using other apps besides Cam Scanner? I think I have answered these questions. As long, okay, for those handwritten answers, as long as it is clear, as long as it is, you think that the examiner can read the photo, you can submit it. But then you have to bear in mind that the handwritten answers must only be submitted in PDF file. We will not accept any photos or whatever it is except PDF file. What if you are not able to attend speaking test? Oh, I think I have answered these questions. Do we need to open the camera during writing APT examination? Oh, I forgot about this. Thank you for the one that who asks this question. Do we need to open the camera during writing APT exam? No, there will be no invigilation for writing examination. There will be no invigilation for both paper one and paper two. So you don't have to open camera. You don't even have to get into Google Meet or whatsoever. Masa APT paper 1 and paper 2 ada invigilator ke? Okay, tak ada. I've answered this question. There will be no invigilation for paper 1 and paper 2. So I want to ask, is it okay if I write my answer of paper 2 on my Telegram chat and then I open it in laptop, then I copy and paste my answer to Google Docs, then I open it, oh, which panjang soalan dia. I want to ask, is it okay if I write my answer for paper 2 on my Telegram chat and then I open it on Telegram, I put okay in laptop. It is better for you to answer the questions directly on Google Docs. So kalau terlate submit dalam seminit 2 minit tak diterima ke, maybe terlost connection. We are human. So if you unintentionally submit it late, but then you must submit within the time allocated. So you have to be ready lah kan. Can you share the way how to count word for essay in Google Docs? Oh, do we have to count the words? Apa tu? Overall, our final test would be as same as previous test masa tu. Yes, Nur Shifa, yes. It will be just the same with our previous IGA, but then what we call that, there will be no invigilation. So kalau saya accidentally turn off instead of turn in, apa akan jadi? Uh, uh, what do you mean by turn off? We only have turn in button there. We don't have turn off button. If and only if you have turn off button on your computer, then you can show me. But then kalau awak sendiri yang turn off, I don't know lah. Okay, next one. Letak baris dalam jawapan wajib ke or for certain questions je? Okay, letak baris dalam jawapan is just for certain questions, especially those questions with regards grammar questions. Okay, next one is apa ni? Untuk question mudarat atau mufradat, contohnya kalau dikasih soalan dalam bentuk isim tafdil, kita kena bagi jawapan dalam bentuk isim tafdil juga ke sir. Kalau kita kena ikut soalan kan sir. Wih, dia punya soalan ni dah macam teknik menjawab. Uh, what is important that the answer for question mudarat mufradat ni, the answer is there in the text. So it depends on the answer in the text. Most of the time, if the question is in isim tafdil, so the answer is also in isim tafdil. So can you explain for XC question 2 further? What do you mean by explain for question XC question 2 further? So kalau saya nak pergi ke tandas boleh je kan? Oh, kalau awak rasa boleh bertahan 2 jam, ah, hmm. So kalau mak saya nak pertolongan saya, astagfirullahalazim. Kalau mak saya nak pertolongan, boleh ke saya pergi minta tolong mak saya? You are going to sit for this examination for only 2 hours or less. I don't think can you just inform your mother or your family that uh I'm going to have or I'm going to sit for this I'm going to sit for an examination. So uh can you not can you please not disturb me for only 2 hours or less? Next question. Okay, so how to letak baris on Google Docs? It is just the same way untuk letak baris on Microsoft Office. You just have to click on Shift, then there will be a apa tu? Baris-baris dia lah. For Fathah we have Q, for Fathatain we have W, for Dhammah we have E, for Dhammatain we have T, for Shaddah we have the one that yang curl macam mat punya symbol tu. For Kasrah we have A, for Kasratain we have S. Next question. So is it okay if I type my answer in my Telegram first? Oh ni saya dah jawab tadi. Can we leave the meeting after submitting or we need to wait till the end of the examination? And can we edit again after we turn in? Can we leave the meeting after submitting? We are not going to have any meeting during the examination. So once you have finished the examination, you just have to turn in. Then you can do whatever you want to do. Can we change the dhamir? Example, yazhabu. But in the answer, we write tazhabu. Is it acceptable? Uh, no answer for this question. So, kalau untuk LQM 083, oh, dia bagi kod terus. You may refer to your lecturer if you want to know how much or how many you have to get to exam this exam subject. What else do we have? Should we install apps for detecting cheating? You don't have to. You don't have to install any apps for cheating. Detecting to detect cheating because it is not that important for you. Saya masuk lambat tadi, so sorry if this question already answered. But for oral test, kamera kena buka ke? Ya, Ahmad Fakri. Kamera kena buka. Dah ada ramai dah orang jawab tu. Yes, kena buka. Yes, kena buka. Yes, kena. Baris compulsory ke sir? Baris, it is compulsory for certain question, but for not for all questions. So karangan tak perlu baris kan sir? Julia Sofia, yes, karangan tak perlulah baris. Even bukan your turn to talk. Nurul Shifa, yes, even bukan your turn to talk, you have to switch on the camera. Is there any other questions? There is no more questions on Mentimeter. Uh, There any other questions on YouTube live chat? Okay, if there is no more questions, then I think that is all for tonight. And all the best for your final examination. And that's all from me. If you have any questions or if you have anything with regards to the questions paper or duration of the examination or the date, the days and or anything, you can ask or you can refer your lecturers. All lecturers are aware about the time, about the day, and about the allocated time for each and every examinations. The last question. We cannot Google translation for word we don't know cancer because it counts as cheating. Of course. Oh, as I mentioned earlier, there is a declaration form there before you answer. You have to fill in the declaration form there, which before you answer the questions. Which on that declaration forms, there are a few things that has been mentioned there. For example, you cannot refer to anybody, you cannot ask for anybody's help, you cannot seek for anybody's help, you cannot open any dictionaries, you cannot refer any books, you cannot use Google Translate, you cannot even use Al Maani, for example, you cannot copy anything from any resources from anybody. You have to answer the questions by your own. So any form of cheating, for example, you seek for somebody else help. It is it is we count it as a cheat form a form of cheating. Okay, if there is no other questions and it is already 10 p.m. So I think that is all from me. So if you have any questions, you may refer to your lecturers. If you have my number, you can ask me if you want. If you don't have my number, so you cannot ask me lah kan. Okay, thank you. Syukran semua. Thank you for participating our session tonight. And all the best for your upcoming examinations. And I think we can stop here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.